Welcome to Flight Test. I'm Stefan and this is Alex.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And today we have the Cessna 182 from Horizon Hobby.
Yes, the UMX, I believe it's E-Flight 182 brushless little tiny park flyer. So we're at the park.
Yes, Price Park here in right North Canton.
And we got about 14-mile-an-hour winds gusting to about 20. Perfect micro weather.
Great.
But it's going to be a great test to see how these things do. These are a little bit bigger. I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
So you want to launch?
Let's launch it.
All right. So we're gonna get Stefan in the air
Chuck
first.
me in the air, man. See how it goes. Now this is my first time. This is the first time flying this thing.
Yep.
First experience.
I took it around the block. Flies really, really good. So it's pretty docile. You ready?
Yep. Oh yeah.
How's that feel?
Oh, that's nice.
So dude, it's handling this wind like crazy. I can't believe that. So I'm gonna get mine in the air.
Dude, come join me, man.
All right, here we go. I'm going right over TJ.
Oh, dude.
What's up, dude? This is
sick. Dude, no joke. It's like 14-mile-an-hour winds, and it's like handling like a champ.
Dude, we're like flying in formation. You have so much
dude.
control. And it's gusty too. So one of the cool things about this this little guy here is Horizon Hobby actually got it licensed by Cessna. So this is like an exact scale replica. So for those of you scale guys out there, maybe some of you out there actually have a real 182 and you want a little model of it. It's got scale details like the molded panel lines, just like a real Cessna. It's got like wheel pants. All of the really cool, it even has like little inlets on the cowling where the engine, just like on a real Cessna. So
it looks fantastic.
It looks like a real plane.
It really does.
Like I have a feeling if you flew this at about 200 feet, people would just think it's a real plane flying over. Wow, there's some serious turbulence over there.
Oh jeez, dude, I wasn't sure if that was coming back to me.
These little, we've probably heard us talk about it before in the past. These little planes and a lot of the Horizon Hobby airplanes, they have a technology on the flight controller called AS3X. So what that stands for is artificial stabilization on 3 axes. So I'm guessing it's roll, pitch, and yaw. And basically what it does, it has little gyros in there. So when we get hit by all these crazy 20-mile-an-hour gusts, if it makes the plane bank to the right, the flight control board automatically corrects for it on the roll axis, which is really cool.
I'm trying to get back here, dude. The wind's getting me.
Bring it back, dude. Where are you going?
Dude,
Where are you?
Dude, look at this right now.
I really can't even believe that these are flying at all.
I know, man.
In this wind.
Oh my goodness.
But as soon as you take off downwind, it just takes off.
It just goes.
So one of the other cool things about these planes with AS3X is a lot of them have safe technology. Now these ones have auto level, so I can flip this switch right here. Stefan, you know where your switch is for? And what it does is it limits the bank. So it only allows you to bank a certain amount of degrees, and it also limits your pitch.
Exactly.
So you can't dive it too steep or climb at too steep of an angle. So it's great for people who are fairly new to flying.
Yeah.
Also in situations like this where there's a lot of wind and you're in a little bit smaller of a park. Right. This is a decent sized park for these planes. But with this wind, it gets a little bit tricky. So knowing that you can always let go of the stick, it automatically levels. Like I'm flying hands off in 20-mile-an-hour winds.
Right, me too.
With a plane that weighs less than, how much does it weigh?
130 grams, so I think 4.6 ounces.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
So yeah, this little guy is a 25-inch wingspan.
Yeah, so it's not huge.
And it's 130 grams, which is super cool because you don't need to worry about dealing with registering. Actually, you don't need to register anymore.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's that.
But it also is cool, like 25 inches, it's a great size just to keep in the back of your car. You can always keep some batteries charged in there. And if you're ever at a park or if you're at like a family event and it's got some nice weather, you can pop this thing up and you have a great flight experience. And right now it's kind of windy, so they do get pushed around in the wind quite a bit. But I have quite a bit of experience with previous Ultra Micros from Horizon with AS3X.
Yeah.
And when it's calm, these things fly like an actual like large RC model.
Like a dream,
It
man.
flies fantastic. So Stefan, you actually had a chance recently to go up with our buddy Bob, Background Bob.
Good old Background Bob.
He actually has a real Cessna 182.
Exactly.
So what was that experience like?
So yeah, first and foremost, I have never been in a full-scale airplane, a real airplane. So Bob really gave me the opportunity to do that for the first time. That was an unbelievable experience. First of all, to see this little one and then to see the big one that he flies, like it looks, okay, it's not identical, but it's pretty close. So it's really cool to be able to fly this and then also be able to sit in the cockpit. Secondly, just sitting in the cockpit of a real plane, I mean, how cool is that, right?
182s are pretty big too. You don't think of them as
they're like a 4-seater. It was a 4-seater. airplane. So me and Christian actually were both there. And I'll tell you what, it was unlike anything I've ever done. And now being able to fly the miniature one just brings back all those awesome memories. And looking to actually do that again with Bob as well, to do a little follow-up episode as well.
So these things, cool thing about these things, the UMX, I believe, stands for Ultra Micro Extreme. Most of the models, I do believe, have a brushless motor. This is running a brushless 180. It's 2,500 kV, and it's running off of a...
Where are you going, buddy?
It's running off of a, we're running 300 milliamp 2-cell batteries, but they recommend 200 to 280. So we're a little bit on the heavier side, but with all this extra wind, I mean, it actually probably is working in our favor.
Right, yeah, true.
It's giving us a little bit better penetration. And the flight time is pretty good. Obviously, this is the first time we've flown a full battery.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but we'll review the footage and time, how long these things actually fly. We'll put it on the screen right there.
Right here.
That's how long they flew. That's pretty good, I think, I hope.
Yeah, and that's nice because like I could just point to the top left corner and tell you where to look for the time, and I could take my hands off it because the AS3X.
So the Cessna, all the Cessna planes, and specifically the 182 and the 172 line, they're kind of like an iconic civil aviation airplane that have been around for a while. In fact, the Cessna 182, it began production in 1956, I believe. Now this model, the Horizon model, is based off of a newer generation version, which I think rolled off the line in 1997.
Yeah, 97.
So it's kind of a little bit sleeker. If you go back and you look at some of those old Cessnas from the 50s, they have like the funny looking like boxy tail.
Yeah.
And, these newer models, they have it a little bit streamlined, so it looks nice and fancy.
Fancy.
It's like a SUV of the sky.
Right.
Actually, I'd say more of a sedan.
So a sky UV. Instead of a sport utility vehicle, it's a sky utility vehicle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Love it. So this is actually a bind and fly model, which actually means that you're not getting a battery and a controller. It's not like a ready to fly model, right? So you got to make sure that you're aware of that when you're looking at the package when you're buying something like this.
So yeah, so the airplane does come ready to fly, like the aircraft itself is in flying condition right out of the box, but it does not come with everything needed to fly it. So there is no battery. Literally, you open the box, you have the airplane itself and a user's manual.
Exactly.
Nothing else. So that being said, hopefully you have some small 2-cell batteries and a transmitter. That was kind of sketchy.
And, I was very close to my head up there.
And then you can get it. But if not, you're going to be in the market. You're going to need a 4-channel minimum transmitter.
Right.
You're going to need a battery, and you're going to need a battery charger. Now, I do believe that they do have ready-to-fly versions of these as well. But we went with the bind and fly because we already had our Spectrum transmitters, and we had batteries and chargers. So
exactly.
What's that?
The Hyperion battery.
We were running these off of 300 milliamp Hyperion batteries, which we had a bunch of them in stock.
And so there's a little bit of the heavier side. They recommend 200 to 280 to 300. So we're a little bit on the heavier side.
But honestly, with this wind, it's not bad.
Perfect.
And that brushless motor has plenty of power to carry it, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic.
And I mean, 20-mile-an-hour winds on this little tiny foam plane. It's
and
pretty
we're
crazy.
still in the air.
Yeah, I did a barrel roll.
Dude, you
Yeah.
killed it. Dude, so I'm not, like, first and foremost, we've been flying a little bit more fixed wing lately at the shop, but I'm not super, like, great at fixed wing.
Yeah.
But I am able, in 15-mile-an-hour winds,
Yeah, dude, you're killing it.
to keep this thing up in the air, bring it back wherever I need, use the rudder. It's a 4-channel airplane, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
Use the rudder. The rudder really helps in that wind. But I mean, I've been flying for, I don't even know how long, 2, 3, 4 minutes, and it's super easy with that AS3X.
Yep.
I mean, I have had no issues whatsoever except for one gust flyaway.
The auto level feature is super nice.
Oh, right, yeah.
Especially for beginners. So I'd say, I mean, who's this plane for? I would definitely say it's a great beginner plane. Now, one of the things, if you are a beginner and you're looking at a micro for like one of your first planes or even second planes, one of the things to keep in mind is these are very, very lightweight and they are somewhat delicate.
Yeah, they are.
That's not to say they won't take a little bit of a hit and a little bit of abuse, but it's not going to be nearly as durable as like some of our scratch-built foam planes, or even like something like a flying wing. The ultra micros, it just kind of comes with the territory that they're tiny little delicate planes, and they fly fantastic. And the flight characteristics from a beginner standpoint, it's going to be great. I mean, with the auto level and the AS3X, we're flying in 15-mile-an-hour winds with no problem. And
it's fun to fly too. It's not like, oh, I just do rolls around the trees and whatever. This has so far been a fantastic first experience, just having fun flying.
Yep. And then Also, so I think it'd be good for beginners, but I also think it'd be good for people who are into scale detail.
Exactly.
Like I'm sure Bob would love one of these, considering he has a real
Oh,
182. People who like to do scale flying, and also people who don't have a ton of space to fly.
Right.
We're at a tiny little park, right? It's not exactly tiny, but it's a great size for these little micros.
Yep.
You're definitely a lot more flexible with a plane this size because you can fly it in smaller areas, and obviously it doesn't have as much mass, so you don't need to worry as much about it like crashing into, you know, whatever, a car or a tree.
Right. You definitely want a little bit of space, but minimal space is fine.
So, and at the price point of $129, buy them fly, honestly, it's not bad.
No, not
like
at
I
all.
said, you do need your transmitter, so if you don't have that, it is going to be a little bit more hefty of an investment.
Yeah.
And it is quite a bit of money for the size of plane it is, but that's pretty standard for microplanes of this size with this much technology and performance packed in. $129.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a pretty fair price.
I would agree. Plus, like, they're so light that, like, even if you were to, you know, do a nose landing or whatever it may be, like, yes, they're delicate, but because they're so light, usually they take a hit fairly well most of the time.
So speaking of which, do you want to bring them in for landing?
Yeah, let's bring them in for landing. Oh, geez, dude, the wind's just taking it.
Go around.
Yeah, I gotta go around. I'm not, as you guys can tell, I'm not the greatest of landers.
You got this. You got this. Just bring it right in. A little bit of sink there. Some serious turbulence. Dude!
Yeah!
You look like Bob Parmley bringing it in for a landing.
Thank you, Bob, for all your wisdom.
Well, super cool. What do you think?
Dude, straight out of the box, I hadn't touched it before, and I had a blast.
It's a fun plane.
It really is.
And now it's not going to be like obviously aerobatic.
No.
For those of you who aren't familiar with Cessnas, they are not aerobatic. You're not going to be doing any 3D maneuvers with this. This is more of a beginner or somebody who's looking for a scale/trainer plane.
Exactly.
Honestly, it comes at a great price.
Great price.
It's a great size. Keep it in the back of your car, and it
does well with wind.
It's a ton of fun. Yeah, surprisingly, like it really blew me away how well. No pun intended. So we want to thank you guys for watching. If it wasn't for you guys, literally, like we wouldn't be here in this field right now flying these planes and having fun. So thank you. Cannot thank you enough. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Give us a like if you liked it. If not, give us a dislike. We want to know.
Right.
So we do new episodes almost every single day, and we love doing it for you guys. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.